because of this, and I'm going to quit. This is our missionary report, our 3 greatest blessings of 2022. Bonnie and I were at Denver Airport, and there's the picture. That's exactly what it looked like the day we came. It was in the news. And we were standing to the right, that column and to the right, and we were standing there with our bags, and I don't know what Bonnie was doing, but I had my bags there, and she was, I think, looking at something at the counter, and all of a sudden, it looked like a heat-seeking missile. Through all those people, someone was cutting straight through them diagonally toward me. So I looked, I didn't know where they were going, so I was kind of moving my bag back. I thought they were headed to the restroom or something. They came right up to me. Here, I'll read it to you. This is one of my greatest blessings of 2022. I watched Scott, Bonnie and I did together, as he pushed through the crowds at Denver Airport. He vividly portrayed how the Lord had used us to see 100+ people saved and discipled over these last 2 weeks, 2 years. He came up to us to say, I saw you across the airport. He said, I've never met you. He said, I got saved during COVID. He said, you're discipling me, and I'd like to thank you. And he walked away with his bag. And I said to Bonnie, was he an angel? Was that a real person? It was so fast. That was a blessing because we got to see that God is saving people. Secondly, we finished together in the studio the first half of 4 big courses that we're doing at Discover the Book Academy. We got the 52 greatest chapters, the Bible study I did here for 2 years with those 10 groups. It was the best time of my life. We surveyed the whole Bible. Then we did a survey of every chapter of the New Testament. It's the life of Christ in the Holy Land, all 4 Gospels, and showing them all the how to understand the harmony of the Gospels. And we just started on Paul's life and letters. I'm teaching through Acts to Philemon, every chapter. And then after that, the final epistles, that's Hebrew to Revelation. This is our studio, and there's Bonnie right there in the bottom right corner. And we actually have a version of that. There are 6 cameras and all that stuff that goes into a suitcase. And I mean, wherever we are. I mean, I've sat in London, I've sat in Paris, I've sat in all the places where we've taught. And in our house where we're staying, wherever they give us, I get in the corner and and I just keep the classes going with the small groups. Number 3, our 3rd greatest blessing after seeing Scott and then finishing half of our goal to get these recordings done. Bonnie and I get to serve together. This is Bonnie teaching the ladies. She was in this room packed with women. All of them refugees, all of them from things that I could hardly say in public. There's one lady, I shouldn't point, but her back is to us, and you see her in that chair there. She supported her family coming from Nigeria. She supported them in the Termini in Rome as a prostitute. That's how her family ate, because her husband couldn't get a job, and he approved reluctantly for her to earn their money as a prostitute. She came as a refugee, came to the church, this is in northern England, got led to Christ by this sweet family that runs the refugee center, and her husband's now an elder at that church. I went to the prayer meeting she leads, that lady. I've never been in a prayer meeting like that in my life. Have you ever been in a Nigerian prayer meeting? I mean, I felt like I was somewhere in the tabernacle in the wilderness with Moses. I mean, she was quoting verses at the top of her voice, and everybody was with her doing it. And it was just the most marvel in English. And she was talking about all the verses she knows about knowing she's cleansed and forgiven and in the sight of Christ blameless. She was a prostitute in the Termini before she was saved. And now she's the leader of the women's ministry. Her husband is an elder. And Bonnie got to teach him. And she did the Doctrine of God, and I just got the men. And I had men from 19 countries, and fascinating. Just some testimonies. Tara Brown wrote us and said, I wish I could come to, she heard I was coming to Calvary. Your sermon saved me. What she's saying is she's one of those COVID people. This one, they're in the UK, and they are in the 52 greatest chapters. And they decided that since they couldn't find a local church, they started a Bible study with their 4 kids in their home. Have you ever been in a British home? They're about as small as a starter home, like one of those space-saving ones that you can sweep the whole house with standing in one place. And they are inviting all their neighbors in with their 4 kids to do a Bible study because they want to serve the Lord. This is another one from Canada that got saved. I told you about the trucker in one of the services this morning. These are typical kids. These are the kids I'm around all the time. That's what makes it worthwhile to do this. Look at Bonnie. Bonnie, I wish you knew Bonnie on the road. Bonnie is like a college kid. She comes alive about 8 o'clock. And me, I'm so tired. I said, I got to get up at 5. I'm going to bed. She said, oh, honey, and she'll tuck me in, poof, to the dorms. There she is with them. She just loves it. And she has become the godly older woman and mother figure that none of these kids ever had. I mean, some of them, both parents are gone, or parents are divorced, or parents have disowned them. And she gets to do that. And I mean, this was Bonnie teaching on marriage, and look, all the men came in because they weren't supposed to. It was just a ladies' meeting. This is where I teach in New York, and then this is the last thing I wanted to tell you. Do you ever wonder what I do with all the thousands of dollars of books I sell? Does any of you ever wondered about that? Come on, be honest. I mean, I can't believe all these people on YouTube just buy thousands of dollars of books. Well, what we've done, Bonnie and I mean, of course, we don't keep any of it, but Discover the Book now supports with the book money. I mean, it's thousands and thousands of dollars. So far, 29 of our graduates that we personally have trained. We saw them as kids. A lot of them are getting married. They're serving in Taiwan, Japan, Hungary, Korea, the Philippines, and we're adding 5 new countries this year. So if you know anybody, tell them buy a book. Tell them you know what happens to the money. That it'll go to someone that lives on $350 a month and lives on Cebu and wants to reach the Muslims for Christ. So we're thankful. By the way, we left here after 1 month of fundraising and raised all 6,100 from Calvary Bible Church. Did you know that? We live on $6,100 a month, and the saints of Calvary in 1 month committed that. And I'd say other than the ones that have died and a few people that have had hardship, they're all still supporting us. And we, as you can tell, I eat very well. And the Lord is blessing, and we're thankful for you.